Hey guys, what's going on? Brandon here with Exotic Cars 19. A little bit out of my element here. Usually when I obviously make a video for Exotic Cars 19, it's over a car that's usually exotic or just a performance car, but I have access to this car for a couple hours, so why not feature it in the channel real quick. Usually when I do videos on more mundane kind of sports sedans, it actually does pretty well because there's a lot of people kind of looking for themselves. Not every day someone's looking for a $250,000 Porsche or something like that. So the thing about cars like this is you could find full in-depth reviews anywhere else on YouTube. So I won't really be adding anything if I just do another review. So tell you what, I'm actually just going to focus this video completely on just the performance aspect of this car, because it's not necessarily a dedicated performance car. So I don't know, it's Exotic Cars 19. What else do you expect from me? I'm not gonna go in depth on all the creature comforts, and maybe I'll do a quick walk around real quick. The redesign on this, I don't know if this is 2019 or 2020. I'm gonna have to look at the window sticker and you guys will know by the title, but the new redesign, pretty darn sharp looking. Kind of more three-dimensional taillights here. It looks pretty darn good. It's the new design language they're going with here. It looks pretty aggressive, especially from the front, which makes me kind of excited to see the 2021, if that's the year it's going to be, M3 and M4. But for a base 330i, that looks pretty mean. I gotta say, I prefer it to the older generation quite a bit, actually. You can see some of the slats here for the opening. Yeah, really cool. That does nothing, but whatever, it looks good. All right, so this one here is a 2020 BMW 330i sedan, and this one starts at $40,750, and this one, as tested, is all ready to go at $45,610. That just kind of shows you a lot of stuff nowadays is just kind of standard equipment. I know that the headlights on this were not upgraded. They're the standard. And then now they all have automatic transmissions. Make your own opinion on that, but this isn't an M car, so more people are going to be buying the automatic anyway. I think it's an 8-speed. Off the top of my head, from a quick crash course I did on YouTube, I think these now have 255 horsepower from a 2-liter 4-cylinder. But yeah, instead of just puttering around slowly and just kind of talking about what a daily driver this is, obviously it's going to be a great daily driver. So instead, let's just go ahead and turn it on, put on all the sport modes, and try to have fun with this thing. Threw me for a loop a little bit. I'm used to start buttons here. This one's kind of more centered right here. Not gonna mess around here. Let's go ahead and put it in sport, whatever the standard dynamic sport mode is, and then put it into drive, then manual by putting over here. You can shift down by putting that thing up, or shift up by putting this thing down. That sounds backwards, but it makes sense when you're using it. Or the paddles. I don't know who would use that to shift themselves. I'll just use the paddles. Shifted for me there. I think once I make my first shift, it'll remember. So gauging from that first shift, if you wait till red line to shift, it'll think that you don't know what you're doing, then it'll like really slow it down. If you shift at any other time, for not being a dual clutch, it's actually pretty responsive. Try to slow down, give a gap between me and this Honda here. So considering I threw it in the sport mode, I'm sure that'll firm the suspension up quite a bit. It's still pretty comfortable. There's a lot of like potholes with like little mounds on them, and it's kind of riding and glazing right over that, like that one right there. Very nicely. I'm sure if I put it in its most mundane modes, which I said I would not for this video, I'm sure it'll be even better, but I'm just trying to irrationally find how good of a sports car a sedan like this is. You know, 3 Series from BMWs have always known to be kind of like the sports sedan anyway. So maybe I'm not too crazy for just making a video just dedicated to the sports car aspect of it. But I think, you know, people are not going to be necessarily cross-shopping this with a more dedicated sports car. So I made a video with the M5 competition not too long ago. But of course, you could get 2 of these cars for the price of that one and still have some money left over. I think that that M5 competition was like 106,000, 108, maybe 110 actually, as tested on that one. Now, I will say that car took me off guard. That was actually a really proper sports car and a great daily driver. I won't go too far into the M5 competition just because that's not what this video is about. But if you guys saw the video, you would know I was really taken off guard with how great of a super sports car it was while still being a comfortable sedan. This one obviously favors more on the sedan part with a little bit of that sports car DNA, but I bring all that up because I think you know what you're getting into. If you buy one of these, you're not cross-shopping it with a $110,000 M5 or a 911 for that matter, no sports car. I'm thinking the buyer of this wants a really, really good daily driver, you know, that's got good visibility, plenty of room for passengers and stuff. But if they happen to have a little bit of an itch for a sports car, I don't know if you can scratch that totally with this car. It just depends on what your prior experience is. Me personally, you know, putting 10,000 miles on my GT350, this wouldn't suffice for a sports car for me. However, I would probably have more fun driving this spiritedly than a standard Corolla, if that makes sense. That's not a knock on this car. That's just kind of comparing, you know, daily driver sedan to another daily driver sedan. BMW does do it a little bit better on the sports side when you're talking about a 330i, just kind of a mundane daily. But just know that, you know, it's got some sports car DNA, but it's certainly not its strong suit. That said, the shifts are pretty nice if you like to go through the motion of paddle shifters. Kind of over dramatizing my movement there so you can kind of see how responsive it is. But you know, like I said, this car being the standard, I mean, there's not an M trim on this one in particular. Makes me kind of excited to see what the M cars for the future are going to look like. There's some talks that it might not be a manual. I highly doubt that. I'm sure there's going to be plenty, like they're still going to continue the manual transmission for the M3 and M4. But yeah, it makes me a little excited to see it because this one already feels pretty peppy, pretty nice for the standard 330. And it looks really sharp actually. Like I said, from the quick walk around, it actually looks really, really clean. I prefer it quite a bit from the previous generation, but I like the previous generation M3 and M4's look. So we'll see what they do for their, you know, M cars moving forward here. But, you know, for a standard car, this was pretty peppy actually. Those were the first pops I heard. There's a little bit of pops and burbles from the exhaust there. I was trying to get it to do it earlier. It's finally doing it now. Yeah, now it's got a little bit of heat. Now it's popping off a little bit. Let's do a couple revs here. Oh yeah, burble's at 3,000 RPM actually. Got that biker looking at me at 4,000 RPM, so I might just stop now. Just noticed as well here, it's got these lights. I think it goes under the door. Yeah, right there. It's kind of neat. Looks like some wings. They turn off kind of gradually there. But yeah, there's just so much about this car. That's why I can't do a review on it, because I honestly would have to study up on the car for like multiple days and it would just take forever to go over it. But figured why not? Let's just kind of dedicate it just to a little bit more of a performance oriented drive. Wish I could have gone on it some more, but on this twisty road, I guess everyone's kind of commuting and it's a little bit busier than I'd like it to be. But anyway, that's kind of a quick quick video, I'd imagine, but that's on the 2020 BMW 330i. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.